Hello, I'm Mark Nickerson, the First Selectman of East Lyme. Welcome to East Lyme Issues and Answers, where every week we get together, sometimes talk to department heads, sometimes people of our town. Today I'm going to talk to you solo, talk about events that are going on in our town, issues in our town, things that have come up. I've written a couple blogs, and I'm going to read from those blogs today. And I solicit your opinions, your thoughts, your comments. At any point in time, feel free to give me an email at mnickerson@eltownhall.com. I have a lot of emails. I kind of keep them all separate. So listen, it's a privilege to be a first selectman. It's certainly an honor to work for you as East Lyme's first selectman. We have an amazing town with amazing natural and man-made resources. It's filled with wonderful, caring people who volunteer at things and raise their families, who look for one another to support each other. And I truly believe that this is just a great town to raise a family. I certainly believe that because I raised my family, my two boys, my wife Marlene, who's on the Board of Education. We've lived in this town for 28 years now. There's no town better in our opinion. Our employees, especially our department heads, don't just punch a clock here in East Lyme. They work here. They also serve us, and they believe that. Customer service runs through our departments. If you ever experience something different than respect and good customer service, by all means, contact me at the Selectman's office. We see it during the tough times. Our employees step up. During those blizzards we had this past year, during those hurricanes and the superstorms, our town departments step up and make sure our people are taken care of. You know, we have a lot of things going on in town. I have a few things to talk about on our calendar and our to-do list. There's a farmer's market every Thursday at 3 p.m. on Methodist Street. Methodist Street is where the Niantic bicycle shop is. And 3 o'clock to about 5:30. Lots of good vendors down there and tents. Please go check them out. And it's a good scene down there. And every week they have a different theme, so check out the website as well. The beaches, the hole-in-the-wall construction, the boardwalk is continuing. So the hole-in-the-wall is closed Monday through Friday afternoon because trucks go back and forth bringing material down to the boardwalk. On Friday afternoon after the workday, they open it up, and during the weekends, the hole-in-the-wall access to the beach is open. During the week, the hole-in-the-wall is still available for beachgoers. You have to access it from up top, from the McCook's Park. So keep that in mind. Smith Harris House is having an antique motorcycle show on August 9th. I believe that's a Sunday. They're looking for, this is their inaugural motorcycle show. We know of car shows all over our area in southeastern Connecticut. This is an antique motorcycle show. Go support it. Should be a fun afternoon on the grounds of the Smith Harris House, right next to the middle school property. The Rotary Club is having a food drive on August 1st, this coming Saturday. August 1st, right in front of the VFW, right on top of the hill where McCook's is. We're going to be, in the streets with buckets for money donations, and food will also be collected. All food and money will go to the East Lyme Care and Share, which helps your neighbors. Niantic Triathlon is the very next day, August 2nd. Starts at 7:30 a.m. down at McCook's. And ProTech has brought their stage back to their Main Street facilities on Main Street in Niantic. Music every Friday night. I believe they start at 7 o'clock, and the last 2 Fridays have been outstanding. By all means, go check them out. A couple Fridays ago, I was down there. The St. John's Carnival was going on. The ProTech had their first night with a swing band. I think Jim Stewart and his band was down there. There had to be 1,000 people on the street, strolling the street, having ice cream, going to one of the great restaurants down there, checking out the music, checking out the carnival, and just checking out the scene and the beaches and all that, and the half of the boardwalk that is open. Great scene going on down there. I've heard nothing but positive things. I had a tent down at Celebrate East Lyme, and I got to meet a whole lot of you down there. The positive vibe that's going on downtown Niantic is it's remarkable what's happened down there. Several years ago, zoning said Listen, we need to revamp downtown. So we talked about steep grants to rebuild the sidewalks and put brick in and planters and light posts and benches. And we also talked about encouraging more businesses to come down there, encouraging mixed-use businesses and buildings to be built. And that's what's happened. We have new restaurants down there, a new scene. There was a tap room, which is a place that's going to brew their own beer. And you can drink it there or purchase a growler and bring it home. That's coming in later next year. Of course, Lillian's is open right next to Cafe Sol and all those other great restaurants downtown. The new business right across, well, the new building right across from Lillian's, which will have 4 retail stores down at the bottom, and I think 28 apartments upstairs. That's nearing completion, and that's exciting to see. And 38 Hope Street had a ribbon cutting and an open reception this past Saturday, and they are now completed their big expansion. So we have residents living downtown, shopping downtown, walking downtown. You see people with their dogs and their loved ones hand in hand walking downtown. What a good vibe going on downtown. Really neat. You know, this show is taped, so I bring often I bring guests to the show, and sometimes I'll talk to you one-on-one here. This can't be a call-in show because it's taped, but I value your opinion. So again, contact me at 860-691-4110. That's the Town Hall First Selectman's office. Or, again, mnickerson at eltownhall.com. Very much welcome your opinions and your comments. I wrote a blog a couple weeks ago about the traffic downtown. I'm going to read from it and make comments about it today. Our town's grown up. We've arrived. You know, it's beautiful now. We all want to get down there. A lot of non-residents, a lot of visitors, a lot of tourists are finding East Lyme, or in Niantic specifically. So we have a gem, and Niantic is that gem. It's not too long ago that our Main Street Village was a tired, half-empty, sleepy place. Stores would open up in the spring and be out of business by Labor Day. There's only 1 or 2 places to grab a decent bite to eat downtown. It was rare to see people out for a walk and spending the time on the sidewalks and meeting their neighbors like they do now. People would line up at the cinema for $2 movies. You remember those? And then quickly head back to their homes, not spending much time downtown. Well, things have certainly changed. Our Main Street is thriving. About a dozen years ago, while I was still on the zoning commission, there was a serious ongoing discussion on what needed to happen to bring life back to our village. And I already mentioned restaurants, beautification, encouraging people to live downtown. That brought it back. So what we have now is, a living, healthy downtown area. But with that comes a parking issue, space at the space on our beaches to park or to put a blanket down. And you can imagine what next summer is going to bring with a full 1.1 mile boardwalk open, people visiting our area just for that. It's going to bring a lot of activity. So fast forward to 2015, I can proudly say that we have accomplished our goals of creating a place, a sense of place downtown. And these results, well, they speak for themselves. But with the success does come the changes. There's little doubt in anyone's mind that Niantic's moment is now here. People all over New England and beyond have discovered our little village. Jokingly, I have said even people from Flanders now come to Niantic. But that's true. I live up in the Flanders area. And, we used to say, we don't venture down to Niantic all that much. There wasn't much there. And I got to go back 15 or 20 years. But, boy, things have turned around. Grabbing a cone, having a bite to eat, doing a little window shopping, just strolling and having a walk with your dog or your loved one, hitting the 3 beautiful beaches, walking on our boardwalk. The success comes with some growing pains. Our beaches have been discovered by many non-residents. When Rocky Neck Park is at capacity, and it happens more often than not now, even during the week, they hit capacity. The overflow is finding their way to our beaches. And while that kind of traffic is good for retailers and food establishments, it can be very frustrating for the rest of us trying to get somewhere or trying to find a parking spot midday at McCook's like we used to do. As you know, a recent Supreme Court decision in Connecticut established that beaches and beach access needs to be made available to all citizens, not just the town residents. And that is true. But we are looking into perhaps taking one of our beaches and making it town resident only, or town resident only parking. And we're looking into the legalities of that. I'm not sure if it'll be hole in the wall or McCook's at this point, but we are looking into that for the following season. As a response to this growing problem, we'll help ensure our doing such, making a resident beach, will help ensure our residents will have space available when they do arrive. I am seeking advice from our town attorney to ensure we'll be able to address the Supreme Court issue. The new Cheney Park, down at the other end, is a beautiful park, a beautiful beach, and it's the biggest one of the three that we have. It almost is the size of Rocky Neck. But the problem is that we have very limited parking there. We also don't have bathroom facilities. We're looking into bathroom facilities. We've applied for a steep grant. This is our second year in a row applying for this grant. We were denied the first time. We're looking into that, but also considering a trolley system where we could park out-of-towners, non-residents, and even residents when the parking is full, to park at maybe Niantic Center School, empty parking lot during the summer, maybe the town hall, which is empty during the weekends, Vets Park, and maybe some churches or some other spots where businesses that don't open during the weekends, and having a trolley system that would pick up parkers, people who park their car, looking to get to the beach, and maybe every 15 minutes doing a run. We'd also make have the trolley stop on Main Street. So maybe people who park might want to stop on Main Street first and get a bite to eat, or on their way back from the beach, they might want to window shop before we get them to their cars and get them on their way. Being explored, our Parks and Rec Commission has big tasks ahead in the coming months as you prepare for next summer already. You know, there's a lot of things going on in town, and I do want to talk about them. You know, the boardwalk is being built. It's been being built for a long time, and I appreciate your patience and understanding. It's very meticulous work. Every piece of steel that goes into the wall, or rebar, I think it's called, is measured. It has to be exactly so many inches from the edge. It's very slow, deliberate, meticulous work. We're building it right. We're building it on budget. It's a local contractor building this. I apologize now for the communication that would have been ready this summer. It isn't, obviously. We're nearing the home stretch of the summer, and it's not going to be completed. We'll be on it next summer. We'll be on it in the spring and even this winter, but we're going to miss this summer and even early fall at this point. We want it done right, and it's a lot of work. If you've noticed, they are making great progress. I think they have 300 feet of sidewalk down at this point. They've got to put the fence up and some more riprap, which are the stones that go behind the boardwalk, but also the big stones, the size of Volkswagen Beetles, go in front of the boardwalk, the steel sheets that have been driven into the ground down by the hole in the wall. Those are going to be some big stones that will hold our boardwalk in place. And should the next hurricane come through, and eventually Mother Nature comes up with a big storm, that riprap, those big stones that are properly put in place will protect the boardwalk. Public beaches and the need for policy and expansion is obviously something I've already talked about. Another thing is the success of our downtown, the need for parking, for zoning, to review zoning downtown. Our downtown village is expanding. We want to make sure we're meeting the needs of our business owners and the future needs of our residents and business district. Costco is still on board. There was a whole lot of rumors that I got on Celebrate East Lyme Day that, is Costco done? Are they not coming? No, they're still on board. They're in the process. It's a slow process of getting a site review, which means they have to architecturally design this building to fit in what is required in that space. And we're not looking for a cookie-cutter big box. We're asking for a little bit more in an architectural flair. It's our welcome mat. It's our gateway. That's why we call it the Gateway Commons. It's it's what you'll see from the highway. And we've done a good job along the highway. Bob's Furniture had upgraded that building. Even the back of Stop and Shop has grown in with evergreens, and it was an upgraded site. And we're hoping the same for Costco. And they're not used to that. They are coming back with designs for that building, and they'll be coming before zoning, before you know it, for final approval of the site plan for the Costco building. That will be built probably next year to be open the following year. So built through 2016 to be open late 2016, maybe for the Christmas season, but more than likely into the spring or summer of 2017. It's a big building. It's a big process. There's a lot of utilities that need to go onto that site. What they're also doing is rebuilding the on and off ramps at exit 74 as part of this project to alleviate some of the traffic that would normally fill onto Flanders Road. When that's all being done, the state is also going to be rebuilding that bridge. That bridge is slated, they've been coming up the highway from, Clinton, Madison, Old Saybrook. You've seen them in Old Lyme. They're now working on the Society Road exit 73 bridge. This is a project that the state has been doing ongoing up Interstate 95. Exit 74, the Flanders Road Bridge, is next slated, and that would have happened with or without Costco. But with Costco, they're going to be building the top deck, the highway deck, is going to be 6 lanes big instead of 2 lanes on each side. And that's for future growth anticipation of 95, the expansion that we hope someday will happen here in the state of Connecticut. I-95 is a nightmare for us, of course, when it gets clogged. We see it, especially on the weekends with weekend traffic flowing through. The other side of Connecticut sees it every hour of every day. And if you've driven down toward New York, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So underneath the bridge is also going to be expanded. So this is a major bridge project. And we have to be prepared for that in East Lyme. With growth, with development, with evolution comes change and traffic headaches too. So we'll all have to find our shortcuts to get around all that construction. It will be severe. Rebuilding that bridge, expanding underneath, expanding the top, as well as those on and off ramps. So be prepared for that. That's coming. But after that, we should have better traffic flow down Flanders Road with an added stoplight which will slow down traffic, but also turning lanes that will get traffic into where people want to go without this zigzagging. If you go down Flanders Road, someone's taking a left onto 95, you go off to the right, then someone's pulling into Five Guys, so you go off to the left, and then you realize you're in the wrong lane when you get to Flanders Four Corners, and you got to get over to the left again. We're hoping to alleviate some of that. Some of that old road work was put together when traffic wasn't so busy. So other things coming up, the sewers in Saunders Point. I've had a few discussions with people that live in Saunders Point. Roads are awful down there. People are asking, when's my road going to be rebuilt? When is it going to be fixed? And we've been trying to patch and fix and Band-Aid the roads down in Saunders Point, because we don't want to rebuild a road and pave a road and then in a year or two dig them all up because we're bringing in sewers. And again, that's the point of this conversation. We're hoping for sewers in Saunders Point. I'm working very hard with the DEEP. It used to be DEP, the environmental people, the state DEP, who are the ultimate folks in approving those kind of things. Pine Grove got sewers about 5 years back, maybe even less, and then the nitrogen that spills into the Niantic River has been measured at going down 80 or 90%. Because we sewered Pine Grove. The same would be true for Saunders Point. The pollution that's going into Saunders Point, the Niantic River, is horrendous, and it needs to stop. And the people of Saunders Point need sewers. And I'm working very hard to get those sewers in. As soon as we get the sewers in, then we can pave those roads the way they're supposed to. So I appreciate your patience. If there's a big pothole, if there's an edging of the road that's failing, let me know, please. Again, 691-4110 or my email, mnickerson@eltownhall.com. That's the best way. Send me an email. I'll send it off to Public Works, and we'll make sure that there's no dangerous spots down there. I know the roads are tough. We want you to drive slow down there anyway. That gets you to drive slow, I suppose. But please be patient with that. You know, the end result is going to be fantastic if we can get those sewers in. You know, another big item coming into town is the public school project, and I don't want to talk too much about that. That really belongs in the seat and in the position of the Board of Ed and the public school system. I want to say that there is a major project coming East Lyme's way, talking about closing one of our elementary schools, building the other two, renovating one, which would be the Niantic Center School, and totally building a new Flanders School on those two pieces of property, and mothballing the Lily B. Haynes School, or giving it to the town to be used as a town hall or a police station or something else. So we'll use that building in some capacity. It's a big decision to be made. Lots of discussions will happen, lots of community forums. There's been 2 years of community input already. The Board of Ed has done great work in making sure they're crossing those T's and dotting those I's. I got to make sure I said that right. But more work is to be done. And so we're going to see the design coming out soon. We're going to be seeing the price tag come out soon. And there'll be a lot of discussion about that. We anticipate, or the Board of Ed anticipates, a referendum, a townwide referendum, sometime in probably February or March. After we get past the election season, we get back to work of governing our town and managing the town. After all the politics is put away, let's start talking about the issues again. We'll be able to really dig in and talk about what we need for schools. You know, what is the right combination of value, need, and price. And it's a big number, so we're going to have to talk about that and decisions to be made on that. And also, you know, talking to some citizens, we've been out there buying open space, and that's a good thing. We've acquired a whole lot of open space. Thank you to the Land Trust and the Friends of Oswegatchie Hills, two great groups that have come together, not necessarily working together, but working separately, but for the same end result, which is creating some open space in our town. That helps all our home values. You know, what we have is we're keeping that rural nature of our town and ensuring that those tracts of land will always be open for everyone to enjoy. Whether it's Darrow Pond, Oswegatchie Hills, there's another town meeting coming up on another tract of land down near Latimer Brook. I am encouraging a town discussion about how to manage these open space parcels. We have a lot of them now. So how do we start talking about them and management and a trail system and maybe even listing all of them? So if people want to mountain bike, they should. The most perfect spot to go mountain biking may be over here. For hiking, it might be over here. For maybe bringing your pets, your dog on a trail, maybe there'll be a pet-friendly trail. Maybe it's over here. So in other words, lots of discussion coming up on that. There's a lot of discussion on traffic in our town as well. I also wrote a blog that you'd find, I believe, on the town website. I also have a personal website out there. Contact me if you'd like that address. I don't want to give it out here. But you know, there's a lot of visitors in our town. They don't know our stop signs all the time. They're unaware of where the crosswalks are. You know, we try to point them out. We have the proper signage out, but people are rushing. They're using GPS now more than ever. So they're getting off the highway. The GPS says, you know, go down this side road to go to the beach. And off they go, and they don't realize there's a four-way stop in the middle of, say, East Patagonia Road. They fly through it. Be careful. As residents, realize there's twice as many cars on our road in the summer than there are in the winter. There's twice as many residents. We go from 17,000 to about 35,000, 38,000 in the summertime because the summer residents come in. Now add tourists and people day tripping here. We need to slow down and be conscientious of that. Set the pace on the roads. Slow down a little bit. Make sure you're watching for people on the crosswalks, especially in our village. I've seen 2 near misses of pedestrians in my time walking up and down Main Street. People in the crosswalk and even just kind of waiting for a space, not just darting between 2 cars, but still people either just not paying attention or not realizing that this is a pedestrian-friendly Main Street and not braking. Not thinking that they need to brake. So I've seen 2 near misses. Be careful out there. Parking's at a premium. Realize that when you go to a successful downtown, maybe it's in Newport, Rhode Island, Boston, you don't necessarily get to park right in front of the restaurant you go into. Sometimes you need to walk a little bit. We have great municipal parking on Hope Street. There's also on-street parking on Hope Street, Methodist Street, Pennsylvania Ave. On the weekends, you can park at the town hall. It's not too far away from downtown. And take that stroll. So keep that in mind. So yes, parking is sometimes at a premium, but keep that in mind. When I talk about GPS, there's a whole lot of people on our streets, and they are taking shortcuts. So be mindful of that. Just slow down and watch for other traffic. And you know what? Be a good resident and be a good host. We have arrived in the town of East Lyme in Niantic. There's a whole lot of people that are enjoying our town. The pride is everywhere. There's a whole lot of people running around with I Heart EL stickers because we do love our town. Show that pride. Be good hosts to visitors and people looking for directions, and point them to the restaurants and to the stores downtown and maybe things that they could go out and see. Point them to our walking trails. Anyway, that's all I have today. My name is Mark Nickerson. I'm your first selectman. I do encourage you to contact me at any time at the town hall or on our website. And if you have any suggestions for shows, if you have comment, I'd love to hear from you. So give us a call, give us a contact. Until I see you next time, have a good day. Have a great, safe rest of your summer.